Okay. Now, part two, family. We're getting almost to the end of this. I knew I was going to have to make at least 2 parts to share with everybody this beautiful message. Okay. Now, back. Verse 9, chapter 5. Mark is where I'm at. Now, this is Yahshua talking. Then he asked him, the man that was insane. Then he asked him, what is your name? But speaking to the entity inside of it. And he answered, saying, my name is Legion. This was not the man speaking, but it was the power of the entities that resided inside of him. So Yahshua wasn't actually speaking to the man because his faculties and senses were already deadened because of the entity that was actually living inside of him, which happened to be Legion. And when you look up Legion, it's many. So it was like, in military terms, this was like a whole company camped out within inside of this man. And where he resided is where they resided, which is inside that location. So as I described, the demon said, my name is Legion, for we are many. Then he begged earnestly that he would not send them away and out of the country. Now, if the demons asked not to be sent away and out of the country, which meaning that they understood their judgment had not come, and the things they did, they were being allowed to do. They were allowed to move into locations and people and do the things they were doing, because the Most High has given every one of us the beautiful free will of choice. Demons, however, as we have been taught by dark Christianity and making them seem to be something we stay away from, when the very dark powers that we attempt to separate ourselves from actually already exist within inside of us. We want to put up all type of pictures and do all type of things to protect ourselves. And don't get me wrong, there are some things that exist outside of us that attack us, but they attack us because of what they find within us. Okay? Now, we understand this much. The demons didn't leave the location. They were allowed to resume. But his command was for them to come out of this particular man because there was a miracle waiting to be done. To restore this man and to show that the people who were in the location, that by him doing this, he did this with the finger of Yahweh, in which the demons respect. No matter what they doing, they are allowed to work for a higher purpose than what we're being given to understand. So it's like in some of my older videos, we don't understand that we actually live. We come into darkness. We operate fully inside of darkness. But the one thing that we always forget is that the light, the power, the love, the vibration, the enlightenment that we seek for is not in a church. It's not in a temple. It's not in the synagogue. It's inside of the temple of our chest. It's inside of us. It's that spark that Yahweh gave us to exist. Bugs is flying out the air. They're just dropping down as I'm trying to deliver this message to y'all. Some of them, they not really leaving bugs. They monitoring spirits. It's a little of that all out here. But, excuse me. This is where we have failed to understand that in order to come into union with who we really are and who Yahweh meant us to be, we have to give up our fear of stepping into the darkness within inside of ourselves. And some of this darkness is added to who we are because we have people practicing a lot of dark arts. We have people doing all type of dark arts, blood craft, blood rituals, sacrifices, seances, typical things to basically destiny swap with people through demons and powers that they worship. And those people that do that don't even understand that the demons they never, out of all the things they do, they are there to tempt man because man has a choice. But mankind seeking easy favors and not wanting to align with the source, align themselves with demons, and then they turn their lives over. And when what they start worshiping these demons, then they become what they call dark. But like what I'm aware of, and in my clarity on it, in my spiritual abilities, I personally have demons that have communicated with me, but they don't communicate with me to try to get me to worship them because they know I worship the Most High. They know I worship Yahweh. But what they have done and what they do is the things that I try to perfect of the things that I had to deal with in my own life growing up that was dark, they always pointed out. They pointed these things out. And instead of them bringing the challenge to me, they knew I was open to the lesson. So they would point these things out. And that's all that would be. Because they understood where my allegiance was to Yahweh. So they dared not try to tamper with that. And it was also to make sure that I understood the very things that I was fighting against was not them. They were already inside of me. So the first stage of the battle is come to grips with the darkness that's already inside of you, that you blame everybody and judge everybody for being guilty of. Lesson in this is that Yahshua actually spoke to demons and he commanded them because he knew the purpose that they served. And when they asked for mercy from him, he gave it to them because the Father had not given him a reason to actually judge those particular demons. And when he allowed him to send the herd off there, he released them to